Coffin shopping is something no one wants to do, but when the unfortunate happens to loved ones, it can become an inevitably necessary task. The process can be stressful, sad, exhausting, and emotionally draining. But what if shopping for a coffin took a turn for the worst and not only became emotionally stifling, but literally claustrophobic? What if you were trapped inside a coffin? Could you survive? Is it even possible to get back out? First, it's likely that your instinct is to panic, and that's normal. It's a small space, barely large enough to move your limbs, and very dark. But don't get too worked up. When you panic, you use substantially more oxygen than you otherwise would. If you manage to calm yourself down to a relatively normal state, you could probably survive between 2 to 5 hours on the remaining oxygen. It's all dependent on how large you are, the size of the coffin, and how much air you may have already utilized in the initial panic. That may sound like a lot of time, but in reality, it's not. This is a sticky and uncommon situation, so you have to start thinking fast. And remember, don't panic. Today, the first thing to search for would be your cell phone. If by chance you do, you can attempt to make a call to someone and explain the strange situation. That, of course, relies on your phone having service, which might be tough in a wood and metal box. A little light would probably make you feel more comfortable, but keep in mind that lighting matches is a bad idea. When a flame burns, it uses oxygen as fuel, eating up that valuable air at a much faster rate. Instead, use that cell phone as a flashlight if it still has battery life. The next step is to figure out which kind of coffin or casket you're in. If your loved one spent a lot of money on a metal casket, it's gonna be next to impossible to get out. For one, they lock, and two, you won't be able to open the casket with all the weight of dirt on top of it. Hopefully they went the cheaper and more environmentally friendly route. These coffins can be made of a thinner wood, bamboo, wicker, or even cardboard, and are often buried in shallow holes, somewhere between 2 and 4 feet rather than 6 feet, to help speed up the decomposition process. Less dirt means less weight and less dirt you'll have to climb through. Okay, so if this is the case, you have a slightly better chance of escaping. The next step might sound a little strange, but it's gonna feel more natural in the long run. You want to slip your shirt over your head without taking it off your head, essentially creating a bag over your head with the sleeves dangling down. This will allow you to breathe without dirt filling your lungs. Now, find the weakest structural point in the coffin. It should be the center since there's no support of any kind. In fact, since you're buried in a cheaper coffin, the center may have even started to sag from the weight above it. Get yourself into a position where you can start kicking away at the top of the coffin until it breaks. Once the dirt's falling in, you want to fill the coffin with as much of it as possible. That might sound strange, but what you're really doing is displacing the dirt and weight that was above you. The more you can get into the coffin, the less you'll have to push through. Although it's important to leave enough space where you can still move a little. This is because of your final step, standing up. We do it every day, but this time will be the most difficult of your life. An average height is roughly 5 feet 7 inches for a man, so if you're buried in that shallow grave and you're able to stand up, theoretically you could just about stand up out of the grave. But in order to do this, you're gonna have to use all your strength. Push hard against the bottom of the coffin, stick your hands as straight up as you can, and push through all that weight of earth. It's so heavy, it may even feel like you're pushing through concrete. A bit of good news though. Because you were just buried, the dirt on top is likely still loose and not compacted, so pushing through it should be a little easier. Once your hands push out of the ground, you can start using your arms to pull yourself out and finally breathe that glorious fresh air. Although it is theoretically possible, it's very unlikely you would actually be able to escape from a coffin that's buried in the ground. With roughly 80% of the US coffins being steel, the odds are stacked against you being able to break out. But if you did manage to do it, it would be one amazing accomplishment of strength and problem solving. Do you have any idea for how to bust out of a metal coffin, besides carrying a blowtorch on you at all times? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more episodes of Fuzzy and Nutz.